What helps you recover when you've been unwell? For me, since I've known myself, it's been books. And that won't come as a surprise if you've watched my previous vlog and you know that I'm a little bit of a bookworm type of girl. But not only books, it's also other things that I really, really love doing and which remind me how many reasons I've got to get better again. And I will show you another one. This is a little bit of a guilty pleasure for me. If my laptop wants to come over now, this is my very guilty pleasure, because since I've discovered computers, I have been a little bit of a gaming girl as well. Now, we're not talking gambling, we are talking this type of a game, and this is Civilization 4, which I've also been playing while recovering now. I also watch movies, chat to friends online, write and try to be as creative as I can, because being creative gives me a good state of mind, and a good state of mind always helps the body recover better. But because today is my 4th day of recovery and I'm planning to go back to work in 2 days, I will go get myself dressed, put some makeup on so I can feel all good about my style, and then I'll come back and talk to you a little bit about health difficulties and especially about fibroids, because a lot of women suffer of these after 30, 35 years old, and not all of them know that there's options to help them. So many women suffer in silence, and sometimes they're not even believed for what they are going through, and that actually can change. So I will go get dressed, get myself all presentable, and I'll get back to you shortly. Hello there! I'm back with a little bit of cheerful makeup on. But I must confess, and you probably see this patch of sunshine here, that before returning to recording this vlog, I took my book and I went and sat in the conservatory to soak up the sun and take advantage of this beautiful weather, include it in my recovery therapy after my fibroid removal. Now, what is all of this fibroid thing? What are these fibroids? They are growths that appear on a woman's uterus or inside it, or it can be in the uterus wall. And a lot of women have them without even being symptomatic. Apparently, according to the NHS website, 1 in 3 women who do have fibroids don't have any symptoms from them, so they can live with them without being disturbed whatsoever. Well, apparently I was one of the other 2 women in 3 who do get heavy bleeding, pain, and all sorts of difficulties that just influence the quality of life. You know, when you are worried about going to work or sleeping at night because you might wake up in a mess that will feel really embarrassing and distressing, that's not really going to help you to focus or function 100% well when you have to bear all these worries on top of the pain that you get from these fibroids. And yes, I did experience quite a number of symptoms or difficulties myself, and the most harrowing one was not even on my bleeding days, but just out of the sudden mid-month, in the middle of the night, I woke up at 3 a.m. and we had to change the bedding on the whole bed. That was very scary and very unpleasant as well. I scared my partner. We were just running around trying to get clean bedding and trying not to wake the kids up as well. And yes, after that, I was often terrified to go to bed on my heavy bleeding days. I would just lay here on the sofa with a double folded towel underneath me, double underwear, double padding, until I was just too exhausted and I had to crawl to bed, or until I just garnered courage and told myself, I have all of these double layers of everything, so yes, nothing will happen as bad as on that occasion. But then other women just suffer even more than I did. I know a friend of mine and Adrian's, she told us that the fibroid she had was as big as a pregnancy. It actually moved her bladder out of the way, and she had to have the uterus removed for that. Also, a friend of my mom's last year had her uterus removed because it was just too full of all of these growths, fibroids, which are not cancer, but as you can see, they can cause a lot of trouble and discomfort. Now, this is not a very pleasant subject to talk about. Who wants to hear about heavy bleeding, about bad cramps, about being dizzy and weak? But at the same time, women's health is quite important, and at the same time, it's still quite stigmatized. Periods are still associated with embarrassment, and people don't talk about these things always because they are considered embarrassing or too intimate, but they are our everyday health. You know, when we struggle sometimes with bleeds and everything all throughout the month and cramps and whatever not, why don't talk about these things? This is why I think that some women just keep it inside and don't seek for help when help is available. Just as I received this help, there are solutions from medication to, yes, having it removed. And women do not have to suffer with these things, and they do not have to hide it, and they do not have to think that, oh, I just have to put up with it because it's just normal and this is what happens to women. No, it doesn't happen to everybody, and it doesn't have to be suffered in silence. Last year, The Guardian published a big feature about this issue that many women face in their health, and it was suggestively titled, "The Painful Truth About Fibroids. Why FKA Twigs is Not Alone." As it often happens when somebody famous goes through something like this, then it brings the actual issue into the spotlight, and it gives an opportunity for the issue to be discussed and researched a bit more. The singer back then, this was in May 2018, had surgery to remove her many fibroids, which were described as a bowl of fruit because of the number and the sizes that they actually had. And in this article, I found a very suggestive paragraph that I will read to you. A recent all-party parliamentary group on women's health, which also covered the condition endometriosis, found unacceptable treatment for women with fibroids. It reported that 42% of women said they were not treated with dignity and respect, and nearly half were not told about the short or long-term side effects of treatment. It found that 12% of women took up to 2 years even to be treated for their fibroids. And this reminds me of my own journey, because this fibroid that has just been removed out of my uterus has been there for 3 years. Since that discovery, I went through different phases of being prescribed just a pill, as it could stabilize my hormonal levels and that could solve the problem. After that, at some point, I was prescribed the medicine that is mentioned in the Guardian article called Esmya, which is supposed to shrink the fibroid to the point where it's no longer a problem. But while I was taking this medicine, it actually got banned in the EU because women were reported to have developed very serious liver problems caused by this medicine. Then in the end, after my fibroid was still there despite me having taken 3 courses of this medicine, I had 2 biopsies, a hysteroscopy, which means that they put a camera to have a look and see how big the fibroid actually was. And after all of this, then it was decided that I will have the surgery, which now is keeping me home for a few days to recover. My own experience, my journey from being diagnosed to having the fibroid actually removed 3 years later, as well as the data from the article in The Guardian, shows that talking about this issue is important. maybe women don't always have access to this information, or maybe they don't know that there are treatments, different stages. You don't have to have your uterus removed for a few fibroids that are there, like I didn't. My fibroid was quite big as to affect my health, but it wasn't big enough as to need an actual cut in my uterus. And other women who are in my situation, they don't need to just keep going and think, oh, well, this is just what will happen to me for the rest of my life. No, you need to go out there, talk to your GP, talk to your doctor, do a little bit of research. And if you do have fibroids, there are solutions and treatments available, and you can have a better life once you sort this problem, and it won't affect you as badly as it did so far. That's what I hope for myself, and yes, that's why I made this vlog. I will talk again about well-being and health in other vlogs in the future, but for now, do you remember how we started this one? I asked you what helps you feel better when you're a bit unwell and what helps with your recovery. And I will show you 2 things that I got for myself to help me and motivate me at the end of these days. 2 new sets, 2 new palettes of eyeshadows. I wanted some more pinky, some more warm colors. And also I have a good friend who loves makeup. She's got one of those big trolleys full of makeup, and she always wears really, really nicely done eyeshadows and everything. So I asked her if she would like to do makeup on me one day, and maybe I can convince her to do it in a vlog. But until then, and if she wants to, I can show you what she got me for my birthday, and I didn't have it when I recorded that vlog. She knitted me a scarf and hat set, and that's something really sweet that somebody has ever done for me for my birthday. I wanted to put it in this vlog for 2 reasons: to say thank you, and the other reason is, what better to help us get well and recover and feel all better again than knowing that we are loved and that our friends really care for us. So with my new hat and scarf, for now I'm going to say ciao until next time.